76. And I quite like going on walking holidays with my family, but you can see it wasn't always necessarily what everybody wanted to do. This was a very wet trip to the Lake District. I wouldn't say we were an adventurous family, but we did do quite a lot of walking. When I got into my 20s, though, I got much more into adventures. I was working in marketing. I had not much in the way of responsibilities. And I had some friends who came on some great trips with me. This was in Uganda, where we had lunch with an elephant, supper with a hyena, and went trekking with gorillas at a time when there were probably only 2 or 3 other people trekking with you at the same time, unlike what you get today, I understand. So it was very exciting. It was quite spontaneous. It was sometimes a little bit dangerous. I only discovered afterwards that you're not actually supposed to have dinner with hyenas because they're quite nasty creatures. And then life changed. I met a lovely man, not quite as into the adventure travel. And before we knew it, we had 1 baby and decided that it was really kind of time to move out of London if we wanted to start a family. So we moved down to Salisbury, had baby number 2, who unexpectedly to all of us arrived 6 weeks early. So spent some time in Salisbury District Hospitals. And that was the first time I'd ever really had any time in hospital at all. Slightly weird start to his life, slightly weird start to our sort of group as a family. But you can see from an early age, there was an interest in tents in the family. But for me, I got to this stage, I think, like a lot of young mums do. I was used to having a job and status and money. And now I was like, well, who am I? I'm living in a new town. I'm beginning to make new friends, but I haven't got that network of friends and family around me. I haven't got a job that people see me in locally because I was working from home. And when I went out and met people, more than anything, I was somebody's mum. That was how I got known. And I thought, well, I want to do something more. I'd lost my sense of adventure. I'd lost my sense of me. I didn't really kind of know where I fitted into the world. And then some friends who we'd met up the road invited us to a fundraising dinner. For the Stars Appeal, which is the local hospital charity here. We got talking to the director of fundraising there, and he said they could really do with some marketing help. So I started off by helping them write a leaflet, and then started helping them write a website. And then I ran 3 auctions with Spire FM and dyed my hair pink to raise money for a new breast cancer centre. And then started running around the hospital on Bring a Pound to Work Day and raised probably about £100,000 and really enjoyed it. I loved having something that was me, that was getting me out, meeting different people. I really felt much more connected with the town that we'd chosen to live in. And this was all something quite exciting, and it was something that nobody else was doing. So I was loving it. So when, having got to know Spire FM a lot better, they suggested that we do a trek, and we really thought, okay, we need someone specifically to manage it. I volunteered. So I've been volunteering for about 5 years by then, but this was quite a change. We decided to organise a trek to the Grand Canyon. It was the trek that all the big radio stations in London and Manchester and Birmingham have been doing for years, so it seemed like an obvious one. And we had the delight of having Discover Adventure up the road. How amazing to have one of the best adventure travel companies in the country just 5 minutes drive away. And I loved it. I got really involved with the trekkers. We had 21, and I took them from just beginning to get to know each other. working out how to raise the funds they needed to raise for the charity to get there, hating me for telling them that they needed to raise the money, and then getting on that plane and having the most amazing time. And I went on walks with them and got to know them. I very, very nearly went with them, but I wasn't quite ready. I wasn't quite sure it was the right thing for me to do. When they came back, I could see not just what an amazing time they'd had, but what an amazing bond of friendship they'd formed. And when we've been introducing it to people and saying this would be life-changing, I didn't think I'd really believed it. But I saw how they had just had such an amazing experience together and supported each other. And it really had been life-changing. And the trek was a huge success. So we decided to do another one. This time I was determined that I was going to go to. It was somewhere I'd always wanted to go to Machu Picchu in Peru. Being a bit of a travel snob, I'd always rather thought that if you're going to do it, you've got to walk it. You know, going by train seemed like a bit of a cheat. So this time, 35 of us set off for Peru. It was the hardest thing I have ever done. We were led by Joe Bradshaw, which I hope you can see the carefully circled head there in the group when we got to the top of Dead Woman's Pass. That was such an emotional day. It was the highest point on the trip. We were at altitude. Quite a few people had needed oxygen to get to the last few steps. And we just stopped and took a few moments to think about why we were fundraising, why we were there, how we were there, and the amazing friendships we'd made. It was an amazing group. It was incredibly hard walking, as I say. 14 hours was our longest day, and then we got about 4 hours sleep to get up before dawn to get to Machu Picchu the next morning. And the steps were just horrific. But it was extraordinary, and people were so amazing. Jo was the most inspiring leader. She helped a lady with Parkinson's, a lady with terrible asthma, and an 82-year-old to get up and through and to Machu Picchu. And it was fabulous. We had the most brilliant time. And when you've spent 10 days camping, squat loos, not washing, you really, really feel like you get to know people and you build some pretty unbreakable bonds. So I was hooked. Having taken about 12 of the canyon trekkers to Peru, now another 12 trekkers said they'd come on and do our third trek. And last year we went to the Great Wall of China. And again, another amazing time and another amazing group of people. And for me, it's the best opportunity, because not only do I get to do this amazing trekking and go to these lovely places and eat fab food and see beautiful views, I get to boss people about, and I really love that. It's something that my family don't really let me do, so I get to send all these emails, tell people what to do, and mostly people are fine. I get a bit of pushback occasionally, but mostly it's fine. This trek was luxury compared to Peru. We had beds, we had loos that were sit-down loos some of the time, we had beer in the evenings, but we still had the most horrific steps. I've just found a few to look at. And we had our mascot again. This time we had the amazing Grace, who's in her 70s, and just like the rest of us, walked every step of the way without a complaint, and just was a huge part of the trip, even coming clubbing with us till 3 in the morning in Beijing. So now we're planning our fourth trip. This time we're going to Petra, across the desert, 100 kilometers of sand and heat, and back to camping and losing tents, and back to a whole new group of people. This time we've got about 17 of the last lot coming with us. And it's amazing seeing all the new people, because I know that whatever they're thinking now, it will change their lives. I think, you know, for me, it has been a lot about getting out of a rut, and that's a lot for a lot of people. And it's a chance to refocus and change the way you see the world, and, you know, just get a really different view when you're meeting people like the guides and the Chuskies in Peru who are carrying all our bags, who are so supportive and so friendly. And you realise just how lucky we are and what a lot we've got. For some people, it's about getting out their comfort zone, whether that's it might be doing that washing for a week, or beds, or familiar foods, or familiar places. It's a way of rediscovering yourself and just finding things that maybe you've parked while you're setting up a family or starting a business or changing jobs or changing careers. And that's really important. And then I think for all of us, it's a way to find a new family of friends. One of our guides in Peru insisted on calling us family every morning. And I think at first people were a bit, oh, it's a bit cheesy. I don't know why they're saying that. But actually you realise you do become this really strong family. And when you see people helping each other up steps and helping each other over really difficult heights and hardest sections of the wall or the walk, it is like a family. So it's an amazing experience to be part of. So where are we now? Here's me, dead woman's past, looking absolutely at my most glamorous, but probably at one of the happiest times I've had in the last few years. I absolutely love what I do for the Stars Appeal. At the moment, there's a lot of firefighting. There's a lot of thinking about, well, how do we harness this amazing support that people are having for the NHS at the moment. But even when we're not in that sense, it's always interesting, it's always inspiring, it's amazing to see the work of what the hospital does for all sorts of people. I've got this extraordinary new family. Last weekend we were supposed to be going to Pennyfan to climb Pennyfan for sunrise. We obviously couldn't do that. Some people went out and did the sunrise anyway around Salisbury, but it's just that lovely thing that you think we're going to keep on seeing each other and doing stuff with each other even if we're not trekking together. And I know there's a bunch tuning in tonight. And I've rediscovered who I am, and I've rediscovered my love of adventure, and I'm managing to persuade my family on some more adventurous holidays now as well. So it's not just about doing treks with the Stars Appeal, it's about doing all sorts of other adventurous ways of looking at the world. And I think for me that the good thing is as well that you don't have to do it on your own. I've seen some of the amazing YesStories of people in the Arctic or on little motorbikes going to France. That wouldn't work for me. I think those people are far, far braver. I love doing what I do because I'm doing it with all these other people and making lots of new friends. So that's me. Thank you.
Woo! I'll applaud on behalf of everybody.
Very weird not getting any feedback.
Isn't it? It's so strange. But awesome. Oh, that's amazing. That's I was a little bit concerned, honestly, about doing an online YesStories because of that lack of feedback, but you delivered it so well. Everybody else, please do pop some
Oh, I've got we're clapping, but you can't hear us. Thank you very much.
Please do write your questions for Jo in the next couple of minutes. In fact, everybody unmute and let's have an applause. That's a really nice way of doing it. Well done, Jo.
My neighbour's just the road there.
Brilliant. Oh, that was very well behaved, everyone, as well. Nice work. Do pop your questions for Jo in the chat if you have any. Jo, that was lovely. How is there somewhere? I'll start off the questions. Is there anywhere that you'd really like to go, but it's not in the schedule yet?
It's so hard. One of my nicest memories, this is the answer to the question, it's a long way around. One of my nicest memories when we were in Peru was a couple of people who'd been really a bit cross about some of it. going through the Discover Adventure catalogue, and I thought, yeah, you're hooked. And every time they issue a new brochure, like, oh, so I've just seen the one in Colombia, which is the Lost City in Colombia, which looks just amazing. And I've always wanted to go to India. I've never been to India, and it's always been one of those, oh, I'll do it when, I'll do it when, I'll do it when. And so that is, you know, that's way high up the list. But you know, it's like, I suspect you're the same. Somebody says, oh, I've been so and such a place. And you just go, oh, I'll put that on my list as well. So the list only ever gets longer. It never gets shorter.
Of course. That's lovely.
I've just got something for Colombia already. That's brilliant. Thank you. I just saw a question, which I, of course, now can't see, which was, I think it was from Joe saying, what's the Stars Appeal doing at the moment? So we're doing, you know, what everybody is doing in all the NHS charities is we're really trying hard to actually get people to keep donating and donating money, because we're doing all the things that we would normally do. And in Salisbury Hospital, that's things like we provide free Wi-Fi that patients and staff can use, and we pay for chaplains to be there 24 hours a day. And we pay for training and counselling and therapy services for the staff. And we don't normally talk about what we do for the staff, because generally people go, yes, I want to do money for the patients, but actually people are so supportive of staff at the moment. So we're still funding all of that. And so we've got lots of money going out. But of course, what's happened is lots of events that would have been going on at the springtime, you know, sort of spring fairs and events, have been cancelled. So we're desperately trying to find ways to persuade people to keep donating, and also see if we can find online ways of getting people to do some of the events that they would have done offline, which is challenging. I think there's going to be quite a lot of head shaving and hair dyeing, and
yeah, hopefully this time teaches a little more resilience, and I think all companies and charities, organizations will find a way through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
One last question, perhaps. In fact, two. Chris Sawnby says, you forgot to mention the T-Rex, Joe. That's not necessarily a question, but I think we need to hear about the T-Rex.
But he's an amazing guy. He's a policeman. He came with us to China. He's come with us to Petra. He raised an amazing amount of money before he came, but then he did this thing where he said, well, if I wear a T-Rex outfit on the Great Wall, will I get some extra sponsorship with? And he did. So he disappeared off into a watchtower at sunset on the wall, came out in this inflatable T-Rex outfit, which had its own little pump to keep it inflated. Wow. And it was hysterical. There's 50 of us falling about laughing. All the Chinese people who were there just having their lovely photos of the Great Wall. God only knows what they thought. They're completely bewildered. But he raised a ton of money doing it, so it was brilliant. Yeah. So,
Joe, that's awesome, and good work, Chris. Joe, will you make us a promise to post a picture of the T-Rex?
I will. I'll dig one out.
The event wall. That would be great. My last question, adding to Joe's in the chat. Do you have a text number to donate to Stars Appeal, or where can people find out?
If you go to, I can just put it here.
Yeah, please do.
This is the website, and there's a link on there. In fact, I think it's. Oh, you'd think I'd be able to spell coronavirus by now, wouldn't you? And there is a Just Giving page there. So that would be amazing. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. That was great. Another round of applause.
I'll mute. Thank you very much indeed.
So good. Starsappeal.org/coronavirus. I think we know how to spell that now for sure.